Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I just wanted to jump on here real quick and make this message because if I don't make any other videos on this topic, any readings, any reaction videos, nothing, I want this video to be on here, I feel, for a lifetime, honestly, because everything that I'm about to say in this video needs to be said, okay? And, I'm gonna go ahead and speak on behalf of so many people, British, American, you name it, a part of the Commonwealth, etc., okay? Because I really feel like this is getting so out of control, okay? Everything to do with Meghan and Harry is getting so out of control, and I just personally can't take it anymore. Like, I'm seeing a train wreck before my very eyes, and people who can't see it, people who have not seen their pre-wedding interview or even, the background of Meghan's half-siblings or Meghan herself or anything to do with her, and are just basically sheep, blind leading the blind, and, don't know what's going on. I feel bad for you, okay? Because everybody who's been invested, they watched the wedding, they probably, bought memorabilia, at least one magazine. I mean, people all over the world have tried to support Meghan and Harry as royals, including myself. Actually, before I did my very first reading on Meghan and Harry, I got I wonder if I have it here, like a congratulations magazine of like all the official photos. And I was very happy for Harry, you know what I'm saying? And, I never knew who Meghan was. Like from the very beginning, very beginning, I was happy for Harry. I was happy that we were going to have a historic, mixed biracial black princess, basically. That's history, that's historic. And I was happy until I saw the true colors. I was honestly happy until everything that, the dust settled, basically. And I realized, not only from my readings, but I just realized in general that this was just a disaster waiting to happen. And I still feel the same way. And honestly, every month that goes by with this couple and their drama, my feelings from my readings and other journalists who are respectable and who are not biased and who tell the truth, honestly, my feelings just become stronger and stronger about, just the tragedy that we are about to witness. And I'm not saying this lightly. This will be a tragedy. Like, the heartbreak that people are going to have over Meghan and Harry could damn near be on Princess Diana's level, if not worse. Especially, like I said, because of, Meghan being an American and being black. She doesn't really consider herself black. She's biracial, as they say, but she is still black. Her mother is African American. She's black, okay? Not even gonna talk about that or get into that. But, that's a reality. And, I see her as black. But maybe Meghan does not see herself that way, and more so biracial. You could be biracial, but you're still black. You see what I'm saying? So, like I said, from the very beginning, I was ecstatic. I love royal weddings. I love royal babies. Like, if you don't know by now, I was born and raised in London, England. I went back there in February for my grandmother's funeral, God rest her soul, and I saw so much of my family, and it was a beautiful, over a week experience. I can't wait to go back, honestly, once all this, disease and outbreak is under control and safe to visit. I would love to go back. But I lived there until I was 7, and so I've lived in the UK, I've lived in the US. Gratefully, I'm blessed to say that I have lived in both the UK and the US. So what I'm saying in this video, I'm not saying lightly, okay? Because it's just, for me, it's so sad. I'm so disappointed, And it was always something about Harry. There was always something about Harry where me and my family would joke, I wonder if Harry is going to marry somebody rebellious. My family personally, who my mom, like I could tell you guys a whole spiel of like how my family, had basically had experiences with the royal family, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But anyway, me amongst my own family, because we lived over there for so long. My parents lived over there for 30 plus years in England, London. And, with Harry, when William and Kate got married, I can remember me and my family just personally saying, we wonder who Harry's going to marry. And so, we always had a feeling, I always had a feeling like he would do the opposite of what William basically would do. Even if deep down he wanted, a Kate replica. I think we all knew, I think if we're all being honest, we all knew that Harry was going to go for someone more dangerous or rebellious, or like Diana, basically. Diana was, Diana couldn't be controlled, and that's why she's not here with us, sadly. And that's the truth. So, where do I even begin this video? I just feel like, the heartbreak, like I said, the heartbreak that people are going to have once everything is said and done is going to be a heartbreak like no other. I can see it. I could sense it. Other readers out here can sense it too. We've been saying this, for a very long time. And, my question is, how many warnings, how many red flag warnings are we going to get about this couple? I mean, fellow people out here who have been married, fellow people out here who have lived in England like myself, or was raised there, born and raised there, people around the world who've been married, and had divorces, people who have been married know how this goes. You don't have to be a celebrity or a royal to see red flags. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you just connect your brain, anybody could see that from the very beginning there was a lot of problems. And this is a typical family. Meghan did not marry into the typical family, and I think we should all give her credit for that. I mean, no one can take away from Meghan's success, whether she got it by hook, by crook, or, people in Hollywood have their ways. Let's just get real here. Like, everybody in Hollywood has their ways. Either they've had a father be a director, producer, or a writer, or they have friends who know people. A lot of times it's about who you know and not necessarily your credentials, okay? It's sad but true in this world, and especially in Hollywood. For example, Meghan's father was in the film industry, okay? For those that don't know that and are just Meghan Markle fans and know nothing about their family, Meghan's father was the one, okay, who was in the industry first. And Meghan, I'm sure, gained some kind of inspiration from her father, regardless of how fractured the relationship is now. And that's her business. I mean, when it comes to, daughter-son issues with a father or mother, I personally believe that should not be on display. And so that's another thing. That is another thing that I feel has been so tragic about this whole thing, is how Meghan's relationship with her father has been scrutinized in the media. And because it's been scrutinized, it's been scrutinized not only because of Harry and Meghan's retaliation and rebellion against the royal firm, but just for the plain fact that her father is struggling. Unfortunately, Meghan's father, after all the hard work he's put into her, after all the hard work he's probably put into his own career, unfortunately, he has nothing to show for it. And so leading up to Meghan and Harry's wedding day, if you don't know this, and you're just, in fairy tale land, if you don't know this, basically Meghan cut ties even deeper with her father, because allegedly he was courted by paparazzi, certain media groups. And what happened was Meghan's father took fake pictures of, being tailored and sized, and looking at, tourism books about England, about Windsor Castle, England, London, the whole 9 yards. And he got caught. Meghan, basically, he got caught dead in his traps. But we can't deny the fact that he did that because he needed the money. There was something in Meghan's father, I'm sure, that said, you know what, I'm not hearing from my daughter. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be invited to the wedding due to all the mess that's gone down. I guess they said that her parents got divorced very young. And I'm sorry to hear that. I don't think that should really be anything that people criticize Meghan for necessarily. And, you know, divorce is something that I don't wish on anyone. So it is sad that Meghan had to go through that. And so what's even sadder is that it's like her family woes are in the media. And, you know, if you watch my channel long enough and you've been able to tune in, you know, from the beginning that I covered this royal couple, to see, you know, there's so many things I could say that honestly just break my heart, you know, like really, it breaks my heart to see how wrong and sad and out of control everything has become. But it's not surprising. Like, for me, it's not surprising, because it's like everybody says this. Everybody who's a, you know, dating coach or has been married for, you know, 40 plus years, 20 plus years, people who have experience and knowledge, right? Everybody says that when you're dating someone or before you get married to someone, that should be the sweetest, you know, smoothest ride. It shouldn't be pulling hair out, you know, scrapping. When you're dating somebody, you should be, you know, in the honeymoon phase, so to speak. You should be very happy with your partner. You shouldn't be having drama. You know, when you're married, naturally, challenges will arise. And, you know, both people in the relationship will fight that together, will overcome this together. But I've never seen anything like this. I don't think any English person, you know, who supports royal family and still, you know, likes the traditional aspect of them, what they offer, you know, no one's seen anything like this. You see what I'm saying? And it's just very tragic. And so, like I said, you know, people are going to be so heartbroken. And, you know, I think readers and journalists and close friends of Meghan and Harry alike, you know, on both sides, Meghan and Harry have tried to say so many times that there's issues. I mean, there's been so many warning signs. And so I just don't understand why people just can't get the warning signs, you know, and just can't wake up and smell the coffee. Like, how many bad stories and backflashes and, you know, Harry lashing out at the press and suing the press, to express the same thing. Like, honestly speaking, how many warning signs, you know, does one person need until they get that, you know, something very, very scary and dangerous is about to happen. And, you know, that's why I'm making this video, because it's like people just cannot say that we didn't warn, you know, especially readers like myself and intuitives like myself who have a gift and are able to, you know, luckily for us, you know, pull cards and, you know, connect the dots. And I've done many readings on a couple, you know, more than I thought I would ever do. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because from the very beginning, I was expecting to see beautiful cards, you know, and I'm going to say this on camera. Look into my eyes. Okay. From the very beginning, the very first reading, I really was shocked. I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked. And so shocked that even under the video, in the description, I put in the box, this was not what I was expecting, ... From the very beginning, I said that I was not expecting this. I really wasn't. Why? Because here I see a lovely girl who I don't know nothing about her. I didn't know about Suits. I've never seen an episode of Suits. Nothing. I knew nothing of Meghan until she got engaged to Harry. And I'm not saying that to be facetious or to say nothing. I'm just, you know, people who did know about Meghan before she was engaged to Harry, they're the ones who love to say, well, how did you not know about Meghan? Well, I didn't. Okay. And maybe that's just because of just the kind of shows she's on, or because she's in Canada. You know, I'm based in America, so it's not like it's any hard feelings. It's just that I didn't know who she was. You know, most people that I know didn't know who she was. My parents didn't know who she was. I didn't know who she was. So when I found out that she was on Suits and that she was, you know, she was filming, you know, in America and Toronto, you know, Canada, I said, okay, great for her, good for her. Like, I thought that was kind of cool, but just automatically for me, I just always felt that it was going to be a problem. You know, I don't know about anybody else, but I just always thought to myself, like, well, actress, an American actress, you know, marrying a British royal where they have a lot of strict rules and a certain formality and routine, and they really can't, you know, be a celebrity. In the back of my mind at the very beginning, I said to myself, well, how would that work? Because, you know, with the Queen and all, there's certain things that you just cannot do, and there's certain things you just cannot say, and there's certain behaviors you cannot display. And so, I mean, anybody with a brain, I feel naturally would say, well, how would she feel comfortable? Right? How would she fit in? And it's not a race thing, and it's not a class thing. It's just that every woman who marries into the royal family, the British royal family, you know, has a tall order. You know, Kate had a tall order. Meghan has a tall order. So people who try to pull certain cards and say, oh, it's a race card, it's this card, it's that card, I just really think that they're just fishing for sympathy, and they're fishing for something to justify why people don't know her and why people don't really support this union, or like them or like her. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to dislike anyone because of the color of their skin. You know, it should honestly, in my opinion, be based upon the content of their character. Now, am I saying that people don't like her because she's biracial or black? No, there is people out here who don't like her because she's black. And they're ignorant, and they're going to stay ignorant, but that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is the fact that we have an American married for the first time ever, married into the British royal family of this caliber in this way, on all social media platforms, and the whole thing's been a disaster. Okay? The whole thing to me has been a disaster. And I've just been so disappointed. Like, I have just been so disappointed in the way Harry's carried this whole thing, and the way he's in so many ways, I just feel like he's made it worse for his family. You know, even before Archie, their first son, even before Archie came in the picture and all that debacle, I just always felt that Harry, you know, did not take advice from William. You know, he clearly didn't want to listen to anybody. What he wanted to do was, you know, not be traditional, and what he wanted to do was go against the Queen and retaliate because his mother was killed. That's a reality. You know, most people who are 30 and older, who I've heard speak about this from, you know, not only just random people or just online or journalists, most people think that the reason why he did this is to get, you know, the firm angry because of the loss of his mother. So there's many different, you know, loopholes and ideas as to why Harry has done this, knowing, you know, what's at stake here, knowing that she would have a hard time, knowing that her life would never be the same, like Meghan's life would never be the same. And I've actually heard royal aides go on camera on different shows and claim and say that Meghan did not know what she was getting into, that Meghan had no idea. Well, did Harry not tell her? Well, did Meghan not see what happened to his mother? I beg to differ. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course she wouldn't know the full scope of it. She wouldn't know, like, the ins and outs every little day, you know, the details of what it would really be like. But it's just kind of common sense. Like, you know, you don't have to know the down details of getting up, taking a bath, you know, eating, where you're going to eat, who's going to serve you. Like, you don't have to know all that to see that marrying into a royal family is a big deal and a big burden, okay? And a hard job, a very hard job. So it just kind of baffles me that, people just sit back and act like this wasn't going to happen. And I hate to sound like that and say that, but it's just kind of the truth. Like, it's just like, what did you expect? Like, she had the tick, okay? I believe that she's trying to relaunch that. What's really kind of just crazy to me is that they're claiming that Harry and Meghan are going to have a new Lifetime movie. And check out the title of what they're going to call this Lifetime movie. I'm going to read it to you guys right now. Let me find it. They're trying to say they're going to have a new Lifetime movie, and I'm just like, it just can't get any worse. Okay, so they're trying to call this new Lifetime movie, right? They're trying to call it Harry and Meghan Escaping the Palace. Now, do you really think that having a movie called Harry and Meghan Escape the Palace is not going to end in a horrible way? Like, do you really think that the firm is going to let people watch this and that this is not going to be another crap show? I mean, escaping the palace, like really? Harry was born a royal, okay? Harry didn't have a choice. Harry was born a royal, a prince. So having a movie or a book or autobiography or biography titled Escaping Anything is juvenile, okay? It's a given. It's just a given at this point. And many celebrities have tried to explain that, being in California, being in LA is going to be an issue. You know what I'm saying? And it seems like TMZ has tracked them down, okay? They're claiming, which I'm pretty sure it's false, but a lot of the reports are false, but they're claiming to some degree that a certain celebrity has shared his house, given his house in the Beverly Hills. I believe 18 million. And they're also house hunting for themselves. Okay. So that's another red flag for me. Like, if you're trying to have less press, being in Toronto, being in Quebec, is better by far. Like, being in Canada is a lot better than being in California, where you're bumping elbows with reality TV stars. Okay. I mean, just in general, and for Harry, it's like a fish out of water. And I just really can't understand how people don't see the train wreck here. I just really don't get it. So I'm just simply coming on here to say that if you have not, smelt the coffee, and you've not done research, and you've not actually realize what's going on here, okay, with Meghan and Harry, then you need to kind of just accept it from now, because when everything does go down, you're not going to believe it. And just like Diana and Charles's divorce, it's going to shake the world. It's going to make people feel very sad. And so what I don't want is people to, be blind, be blinded to the facts here and just not connect the dots. Like, you have to connect the dots, you see what I'm saying, from the beginning, so that if something does happen, you're not crying tears. I mean, you could shed some tears, but you're not completely shaken up. Why? Because you have taken heed of the warning signs. You have seen the readings. You have seen the interviews. You're now seeing how there is interview after interview and book deal after book deal and movie deal after movie deal trying to exploit the royal family. And that's just the truest tea ever. Like, profiting off of escaping. Like, they're not slaves. I mean, they're multimillionaires. And if Harry wasn't a prince and wasn't rich, they wouldn't have anything. Okay? So, and like I said before, if Prince Harry didn't have the status, didn't have the money, would Meghan look in his direction? Would she even know he exists? Like, you see what I'm saying? So, I mean, as much as Harry wants to trash being a royal, without that status, you would have not married her, okay? So they just love to trash on things that literally give them privilege, and it makes no sense to me. Like, if he was not a prince, and if he was not one of Diana's sons, he wouldn't have that money, okay? He wouldn't be able to afford Meghan, or anybody, really, because Meghan got expensive taste. Meghan is going to want the latest of everything. I could just see it now. You see what I'm saying? Not just designers. I mean, everything. Everything. And, the UK, the US, Australia have all declined to pick up this tab for their security. So their security alone is going to cost a pretty penny. And if we're going to have a situation here where Harry and Meghan are going to want to be at all the hot spots that Kim Kardashian is at, you can bet that there's going to be a lot of drama. And so what I'm saying is, people can't just expect there to be no drama. People just can't expect them to leave one of the biggest monarchs in the world and not have people question why they're doing that, what's going on. It's just silly to me. I just think it's silly. And quite frankly, Meghan had a pretty good deal there. I mean, I know there must have been things that have gone down, but talk about in terms of, designers and stuff like that, I mean, Meghan was having a pretty cushy deal. You see what I'm saying? I mean, in her engagement picture, she had that Ralph from Russo dress, I believe, that was over 100,000. I believe it was over 100,000, if not 40,000. It was up there, honey. That dress was up there. And when you're a royal, when you're in that kind of position, you can summon any designer. You see what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure that she wasn't paying for a lot of it. The taxpayers were. So what I'm saying is, now that they're not in that position, Meghan wanting to have the latest this, latest that, and get the princess treatment in LA may not necessarily happen, okay? So it's all them, it is all them. And they're going to have to do a lot of, I think, controversial things to be able to afford the kind of lifestyle and prim and proper privilege that they got with the Queen in LA. They're going to have to do a lot of work, a lot of just, controversial things in order to get that kind of money. And even then, at some point, it would run out because, like usual, a lot of celebrities, especially reality stars in LA, they're easily making over 100 million a year. Easily making over 100 million a year. Harry and Meghan aren't making that. Okay, I believe that either Meghan or Harry's net was like 12. Now, to us, it's a lot, but to other celebrities in LA who have, sponsorships and commercial deals and club access and Instagram privilege, you see what I'm saying, where they're posting their body on Instagram and they're getting paid for it, and on top of that, they're advertising products. That's the kind of way that in Hollywood, that's the way that you're gonna make north of 100. But right now, Meghan and Harry aren't making that. Okay, they're not making that. So people have said, how is he gonna support her? How is he gonna be able to take on all this, plus the press, plus the media? That's a lot of stress. So unfortunately for them, either way you spin it, you're bound to get, bad and good press. But there is really no such thing as bad and good press. Press is press. You see what I'm saying? And any real celebrity knows that bad and good press is still press. It's still attention. It's still, unpaid, attention. You see what I'm saying? Even this video I'm making, you know what I'm saying? If they're smart, they can spin it. They could say, okay, well, I'm gonna launch this charity. I'm gonna do this. Like it's just all part of the game, okay, of show business. It is. So that's why I'm saying, like, people in LA, who do controversial things for a penny, you know, that's their lifestyle. But the difference with Meghan and Harry is that Meghan is not a reality TV star. You see what I'm saying? She's not a Kim Kardashian. She may want to be, but she's not a Kim Kardashian. And as long as the Queen's alive, as long as, you know, she's still tied to Harry, there's certain things that she still can't do. You know, even if she wanted to, there's still things that I'm pretty sure the Queen would still have a say on. Even though they've stepped down as senior royals, I'm pretty sure that just legally, there's things that they wouldn't dare do or wouldn't dare to do because of the repercussions. You know what I'm saying? So it's not an easy road. The road that Harry and Meghan have chosen, you know, is not an easy road. It's not. You know what I'm saying? And I just think that you know, people who are intuitive, people who, you know, can sense true love. You know, I mean, you can sense true love. You could see true love. You could see a couple that you know is gonna last. Do you see what I'm saying? And you know, this is not one of them. This is definitely not one of them. So, you know, I just definitely think that this just needs to stop. Whatever's going on right now, you know, it has to stop, guys, or it's gonna get really ugly. It's gonna get really ugly. And you know, it's in so many ways I feel like Diana's tragedy is being, you know, replayed. You know, and it's really sad to say that, but I just feel like their behavior is so uncanny. It's so uncanny to what we've seen Diana go through. You know what I'm saying, with the media and with her marriage. It's just so uncanny. And you know, why would you want to raise your son in that environment? That's my question for Meghan. Like, why would you want to bring that kind of scrutiny on yourself when you could have just been in Canada or you know, a countryside in England or something like that? Like, why would you want to, you know, be in the hell and brimstone if you don't have to? You see what I'm saying? But we all know that the reason why they're there is because Meghan is trying to increase her portfolio of being an actress. We all know that. And she said it, you know, she's going for major lead roles. So for me and for many people, it's a very foreign thing to reckon with. Like, the idea of a duchess being on the big screen. For me, it doesn't sit right. Like, for me, it doesn't sit right. And it's unfortunate, you know, it's very unfortunate that Meghan would have to choose between being an actress versus a royal. But at the end of the day, she was a royal. You know, she did marry Harry. And what should have happened, what was supposed to be happening, was them alongside William and Catherine, you know, being the Fab Four, being the new era of royals. That was the plan. You know, if anyone's being honest, that was the plan. And that plan has been squashed now. And I'm pretty sure that William warned Harry. I'm pretty sure that William and Catherine, behind closed doors, were really feeling, you know, uneasy about this. And they're right, you know, the reality is they're right. And whatever drama's gone down between her and Catherine, or her and Charles, or whatever, you know, the royal staff, like, there's a lot of rumors, and rumors are not facts. You see what I'm saying? So we're not going to get into that in this video, but it's definitely unfortunate. And I do think that it would have been lovely if they were to work it out, you know, in England. That was what was supposed to happen. You know, Harry did not marry into her family. She married into his. You know, he had high status. He was, like I said, he's a royal. So for some reason with Meghan, it kind of feels like Harry is becoming belittled and small to fit her world. And that's not what was supposed to happen. What was supposed to happen was Meghan going into Harry's family and being a royal and carrying out royal duties and charity and helping the world through being a royal. Nothing to do with LA, nothing to do with being on the big screen, nothing to do with going to wild parties. Nothing. There was nothing about that that was supposed to happen, okay? The plan was for Meghan to marry Harry and give him give him certain multiple heirs if she could, and make the royal family still be here, basically. I mean, that's a part of it too. Her marrying Harry and being a royal and having children, that furthers the stability, and it just really just completes the picture. That was the whole point, was for them to be in England, to stay there, to live there, to be amongst the family. That was the whole plan. Okay, that was the real plan. So, if you don't agree with anything else said in this video, you can't deny that. When she married Harry, it was never supposed to be this, paparazzi chase, just media hellfire and brimstone, because they want to have their cake and eat it. That was not what was supposed to happen. What was supposed to happen was them, support the Commonwealth, be classy, give the royals a modern look. That's it. That's all they had to do. And they just couldn't do it. They just had to break free, but that comes at a cost, that breaking free, and that, going against the firm, that will come at a price. And we're seeing the beginnings of that price now. We're seeing, the backlash. Now we're seeing how everything's gone down between not only Meghan and her family, which is very sad in my opinion, but just the whole world. The whole world are looking at them sideways. Even if you are like madly in love with this couple, there's still something, in your heart, in your gut, that you say to yourself, you question how this is going to work out. And, some people have turned on Harry. Some people have said, you know what? I don't, I no longer like Prince Harry or Harry, because he doesn't want to be a prince. He wants to be called Harry. Some people have just gone ahead and say, forget it, forget Harry, he's just a spare anyway. People have turned cold towards him. I haven't turned cold towards Harry. I have not, had distaste for him. I still respect him as one of Diana's sons, and I don't feel that way. I just look at them as a unit. I see Meghan and Harry as a unit, and I feel like they both made very, very poor decisions. And I definitely think that them moving to California is one of the worst steps that they've made so far. I really do. And it's just foreign. It's just weird. It's just gonna be, hell. And the traffic in LA ain't easy. The paparazzi in LA ain't easy. Like I said, they're brushing shoulders with people who are not royals, who don't know what it is, to represent such a Commonwealth like that, a cultural stable, a culture stable, like a whole dynasty, like a whole. It just baffles me. It just baffles me that this is even where we're at, and that they've even had the chance to do this. And, all they're going to do is slam the firm. You know that, right? All they're going to do from here on out is say how they were so trapped and so unhappy. And, I wouldn't be surprised if there's even crazier stories down the line about, the way Meghan was treated, or, what's happened here. And it's only going to get uglier because they're going up against something that's been around for hundreds of years, and means so much to the British people, the Commonwealth. It means so much to so many people, and represents something larger than life. Being a royal represents something larger than life. And so them stepping down is just showing that they don't want to hold that mantle. They prefer to be, celebrities. But the thing is, they were still royals. They still were a part of it. You can't just deny that you had a royal wedding and you had a royal photo shoot, and the Queen, for God's sake. You can't erase that, from reality. Harry's always been a prince. So, it takes a lot for him, I'm sure, to scrap that and say, I'm out of here. But quite frankly, I don't think that he, has had his intuition on lock. I don't think for a second that Harry thought everything through. I really think that he just fell madly in love, and wanted to have that kind of status like William has, I really do. I think that he was, so just in a trance. Like he was so sure that he could have what William and Kate have. I really feel that. But you don't. You don't have what William and Catherine have. Catherine is serving the purpose. She is, she is that royal. She has turned into that royal, and a great one. And, Harry doing this is just so disappointing. It's just, for me, it's just so disappointing. It's so disappointing. It's so disappointing. And it's so unfortunate. So, like I said, guys, this could be easily a 4-hour video of me breaking down just chronologically, all the lawsuits and the bad press, and there's so much garbage that has happened since they've gotten married, and it's very unfortunate. But you know what? It's a reality of the situation. It's a reality, and so I just want to say, just for the record, that it's sad. And, anything that does happen should not be a surprise to anyone. It really shouldn't. And I'm wishing everyone all the best. Everybody involved with this whole fiasco, honey, this circus, really, I'm wishing all the best. And, I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed. And I just, for me, it just looks like things are just getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And to try to even have a book or a movie called Escaping the Palace is just juvenile. It's ridiculous. Like, I would never do that. Why would you want to do that? You see what I'm saying? Why would you want to have a media war with the royal firm? Why would you even want to get in that battle? You're not going to win. You see what I'm saying? Like, why would you want to bring down the royal family? And I do feel like if all their, Hollywood Scarlet plans succeed, I do believe that they have the power through, the sympathy card. They can have the power at some point to destroy the British royal family. I mean, if these books are not checked, I mean, if every I is not dotted and every T is not crossed, if they don't really watch carefully what this couple says in interviews and books and the like of it, we're gonna have a Diana all over again. Maybe even worse, in my opinion. I think we'd have a Diana 2.0. I think it'd be even worse, quite frankly. I think it'd be a lot worse than what we've seen with Diana. I think a lot worse, because it's not just the UK, it's the UK and the US. So if anything goes left on a big scale, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a big problem. And like I said, they're basically going in the direction of ruining the British royal family, and if people want that to happen, then you got it. You see what I'm saying? I mean, if you don't like the royal family and you don't, want any kind of, I'm not putting my personal things, I'm just saying, if anyone was watching this video and, you don't want any royals, you don't want any people to, to have this kind of tradition in society, within a culture, embedded within a culture, then you got it, because Harry and Meghan doing this is going to ensure that there's going to be drama. It's going to ensure that there's going to be lawsuits. It's going to ensure that there's going to be people, paparazzi stalking out to take pictures of them. They can, it's almost guaranteed at this point. It's basically guaranteed that they're going to have a lot of issues. So that's all I want to say. How many red flags, how many warnings, how many lawsuits, how many people out of the woodworks are we going to see, basically just reveal like how messy and horrible all this is. Like how many tragedies, do we need in this British royal family? Like, how many divorces do we need? I mean, really. So that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you guys could, relate to the video, and you can respectfully comment below, what you think about, them moving to California, and what you see for the couple and what you think is gonna happen. But my goodness, I have a bad feeling about this couple. I have a very bad feeling about this couple. And it just, everything that keeps happening is just reconfirming that. All right, bye.